I think there's one really important thing that Georgia needs to do on Saturday against Vanderbilt, other than winning. It's staying healthy. I think it's very important that they go up there. Look, Georgia could put up 60 points on Vanderbilt. They could have put up 60 on Kentucky. They could have put up 60 on UT Martin. They could have put up 60 on Ball State. Whatever. They could have put 60 points in 4 out of these 6 games, right? So they couldn't do that against Auburn, and they couldn't do that against South Carolina. But they can do that against Vanderbilt. That's in the realm of possibility. I think Kentucky put up high 40s, low 50s, 2 pick sixes, and I don't think that that's a super dynamic Kentucky offense. Got to see that on firsthand in Sanford Stadium. Not the best judgment of how good a team is, maybe, when they're playing the number 1 team in the country at night in an environment like that. But staying healthy, in my opinion, should be the number 1 goal outside of winning. And maybe that is always the number 1 goal. But I don't think, if you're Georgia, I don't think you should be worried. Look, I'm not a coach. Kirby's got his own prerogative. Coaches get their own prerogative. But to me, I don't think you don't have to click more. You don't have to see an advancement from last week, right? Because this is a game you should win. You're favored by 31.5 points. If you're Georgia, you are favored by 31.5 points against Vanderbilt, which I'm taking, by the way. I'm taking Georgia to cover that spread in our weekly picks, right? I don't actually lay money down on these things because if you see my record, I can pull that up real quick. It's not good. But look, Georgia's been getting healthier as this season has gone on. Ladd McConkey, Javon Bullard, Kendall Milton, 3 starters that have, been up in the air. They're in the mix. At the beginning of the year, they didn't have Dejan Edwards. He's obviously the lead back now. And Marius Mims out for a while. I hesitate to say he's going to be back for the Florida game. I know that that's kind of like the timeline. If you look at Lawson Lucky or Cash Jones or whoever, other people with tightrope ankle surgeries that Marius Mims underwent, it put him on track to be back around Florida. With him, I'm going to guess it's going to take a little longer than that. Don't think he's season-ending, though. Roderick Robinson, high ankle sprain, is doubtful for this week against Vanderbilt, but you get a bye. Why is it important to stay healthy? You get a bye after Vanderbilt. And look, that is not a true road game up in Nashville. It is, 4 or 5 hours away from Athens. It is in another stadium. Seems undergoing construction, so I don't even think it could be at full capacity, if I'm not wrong. And there will be more Georgia fans than Vanderbilt fans, is my guess. There will be more Georgia fans there than Vanderbilt fans, because guess what? 2-fold dogs travel. 2 tickets are probably relatively cheap. It's actually 3-fold. And 3, people like to party in Nashville, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of Georgia fans partying it up in Nashville after the game. Ryan Curley from Dog Post. Make sure you're hitting the link down underneath in the description. It is our newsletter. Make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. Every single day you get insider, free, premium, whatever. All the stories you could possibly think about relating to the Georgia Bulldogs in your inbox every single day. All you got to do is sign up, click the link down below, enter your email address. It is free to do. Be a smarter Georgia fan. So, Ladd McConkey played more in that game against Auburn than he did against Kentucky. Made a bigger impact against Auburn. He's gonna if I'm not wrong, he's gonna be kind of a week to week deal as far as where his health's at. They don't want to test it with his back. The other guys, it's a little bit more linear. I don't know if this is flipping my orientation or not, but upward trajectory is where I'm pointing. It's a little bit more linear with the other guys. For Ladd, it feels like it's been this a little bit. It's more this, right? Kendall Milton looks healthier. He looked healthier against Kentucky. Now, I was having a Kendall Milton conversation with one of my buddies the other day who is, I guess pretty medium on Kendall Milton. And look, if Kendall's watching this, I'm sorry. I've always been lower on Kendall Milton just because if he's not 100% healthy, he's just not the same back. He's just not the same guy. We have seen him show some serious flashes the freshman and sophomore year where it was like, man, is this guy just a bigger Nick Chubb? Is he like Derrick Henry light? You know what I mean? And then, he kind of gets banged up. He's dealing with hamstrings, ankles, whatever, knees. He's dealt with like all of that. And he entered the season with a hamstring situation. He messed it up during fall camp, tweaked it during fall camp. Does not look like Kendall Milton. To me, he doesn't look like what we know Kendall Milton can be at the beginning of the year. I know he had the big run against UT Martin. He had the stiff arm, right? It was sick, but he has not been healthy, and I think and look, he missed time, and then got to play a little bit against Auburn. I don't think he got any carries, but he was out there as a decoy, as a pass blocker. Don't believe he got any carries, and then gets a touchdown. He has like 7 carries. He's got, what has he got in this past? What did he have in this last game? Whatever. He had a touchdown in like 60-ish yards against 8 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. So not quite as good as I thought, but still 5.9 yards per carry against the Wildcats. 5.9 yards per carry is no slouch. But the defense, flipping to the defense, Javon Bullard, it's obvious he's one of the best safeties in college football when he's out there. Malachi Starks is as well. They needed him. And as they get healthy and healthier, when you get Mims back, I think Roderick Robertson, just from a depth standpoint, matters to this running back room, whether he's going to get a bunch of touches or not. But what has Roderick Robinson done in his short amount of time at Georgia? 15 carries for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.9 yards per carry in a reserve role. Well, they don't have him in a reserve role now, and he's a guy that you can trust at the goal line. Trust might be a stretch just because he's a freshman, but this is a goal line type of back, and Dejan Alwards has been a touchdown machine, but you want Kendall Milton and Robinson in there to be kind of the guys that are dealing with some, adding some heavy punches in there. Amarius Mims' return will help the chemistry on the offensive line. From a talent standpoint, I think he's maybe from a physical talent, so that's a better way to put it. From a physically talented standpoint, there's no one like him. There's no one like him on Georgia's offensive line, and having him out there on the edge, it's a big deal when you've got SEC pass rushers coming at you if you're Carson Beck. I think that given the circumstances, Georgia's offensive line has gotten better as the season has gone on, and part of this is chemistry, especially with the offense and starting to click. Ra Thomas, Dominic Lovett, new to the program. Carson Beck, new starter. Mike Bobo, new OC, re-OC, whatever you want to call him. Second stint. And he was in the program, obviously, the year prior. But they're starting to click as the season goes on. Did they need time to click? Were they holding him back? Was Beck on a leash? It's hard to say. But that offense was the real deal on Saturday against Kentucky. The defense played really well, not as well as the offense. I thought in all 3 phases, Peyton Woodring starting to hit his field goals, right? Freshman kicker, missing a few kicks at the beginning of the year, get some backlash. Well, he's improved. He has definitely improved. And I think that being healthy matters. Notice I barely talked about this Vanderbilt game, right? I think there's a little bit of a quarterback controversy at Vanderbilt. I've watched them here and there, right? A more fun team than what they've been in the past. I do think that Clark Lee has elevated them a little bit. I think that they're moving. I think there's a lot of programs moving in the right direction, whether you're moving at a high speed or a low speed, or if there's a finish line or not. That kind of all depends. For Georgia, the finish line is winning every single year. And they've been moving in the right direction since Kirby Smart stepped foot here in Athens. I say here because I'm in Athens. And for Vanderbilt, it's a different challenge. But they have gotten better as a program. Can't ignore any team, but it's an SEC. It's not a true road game. I think Georgia's going to have more fans there. I do. And we'll be able to tell you about it on Saturday. Staying healthy, really important because it is mattered. Ladd McConkey mattered against Auburn. Converted 3 first downs on 3rd down. Catches, and he's obviously not 100%. Health matters. Number 1 thing for Georgia on Saturday.